Anthony Joshua, he's someone who said he's a free spirit now, and he said he's looking to mix it up with a number of coaches. If you had time one-on-one with Anthony Joshua, what facets of his game would you look to improve if you had that time with him?
Well, I spoke to him at the fight last weekend.
Right.
In my opinion, he still has everything necessary to become champ again. I'll get him in the gym and look at him, assess his game, and I think he'll be back to the top within 6 to 8 months. I got a good long-term plan for him, and if we agree on a plan, which I haven't told him yet, but I do have a plan for him because I feel like knowing boxing, I kind of know how to go for a guy most of the time, and I kind of know what's the best route for him to take because I've been watching his whole career. So I definitely have a good plan in mind for him. When he comes to see me in Brighton, when I go train Chris, we'll speak about it. I'll assist his gym, I'll work, then I'll tell him what my plan is. If he likes the plan, we'll get on the plan. If he don't like the plan, then he'll go find somebody that suits him.
Wow. Those are the words of Roy Jones Jr. as you heard him confirm talking to Anthony Joshua. Anthony Joshua is planning to come to his gym. He's planning to map out a plan for his career to be heavyweight champion of the world once again by the plans mapped out by Roy Jones. And he hasn't told him the plan, but hey, if he likes it, he can like it. If he don't, he can go. You know, that's transparent as you could actually get. Now, the question is, what will the plan be? You know, will it be to take a step back? Or will it be to take a step to the side? Or would it be to go for the gusto? You know, and if I'm Roy, and if I'm trying to imagine how Roy or what Roy's game plan would be. It would definitely be, hey, take a step back. Let's get some fights up under our belt. Let's get reassessed. Let's get the confidence there. Let's see what happens. And in fact, let's check out the rest.
Wise, we saw him take the mic after the loss to Usyk, and people have made a lot of that. How do you correct the mindset of a fight if it does need correcting?
Well, his mindset really don't need correcting, but it's a lot of ways to kind of nurture that mindset. And that's what my point is. The whole plan I got is really built on mindset. So it's like, I'm glad, and I told him the other night, I'm glad you're not fighting again right away because I would like to see you change a few things, reset your mind first, then go back out. Because if you go back out with the same game you had, you yourself, everybody else knows what changed. Just like when you fought Usyk, what changed? Nothing. So it's like, we got to change things to expect a different outcome. So if I can get him for 4 or 5 months, change a few things, then it's possible we can make some different outcomes. That's my plan.
So, as you heard Roy say, hey, there was nothing wrong with his mindset. You know, we just got to nurture it, tweak it a little bit, you know. And looking at that night he lost, you seen the meltdown, but what did you see because of the defeat? You saw passion. You saw aggression. And I think what it is, yeah, he has fire. It's just assessing the fire, putting it into action instead of the action that he used after, during. You know, let's try during the fight. Because a lot of people say, well, hell, where was that passion in the fight when he was fighting Alexander Usyk? You know, and I think that's what Roy's trying to do. He said, well, that's the whole thing. You know, he kind of let a little bit out of the bag, but, you know, it's the mindset. You know, and Anthony Joshua himself that night when Bivol fought Ramirez, he said, you know, my mind had to be right. You know, my mind, I had to get my mind right. It's a lot of pressure, he said. So, you know, they're right there. And you've seen those guys, as you can see, they were chopping it up. They were talking, you know what I mean? So it's a lot of things that could be said. And I think Anthony Joshua has taken a liking to Roy. He always thought Roy was that, but he's also observed what Roy's done with Chris Eubank Jr. You know what I mean? So a lot of times, which we've learned about certain fighters, they go to another land and learn a whole nother mindset or a whole nother game plan, you know, new skills in the bag and things to be taught. Because one thing that I believe about Anthony Joshua, he's still teachable. I think, you know, the thing, that pull counter he did against Pulev, and Pulev is one tricky jabber, and he was able to pull that counter off, that pull counter to Pulev, and Pulev is a sniper jabber like that. I was impressed, and it showed me, okay, this guy's still learning, and he's learning new things. So imagine what Roy Jones Jr. can do with Anthony Joshua, and I think Roy has the accolades. He has the receipts, okay? And he's constantly and still doing it as a trainer. And I think, Anthony Joshua was impressed with that. And I think that's somebody that he could use and that he can learn a lot from. And I think most importantly, he's open to learn a lot from. So you have to respect a guy before you can either receive any type of, or honestly receive any type of advice from him. Okay. So we will see. And then, of course, he's not fighting right away. He's not fighting in December. So it all looks good. So maybe, just maybe, Roy Jones Jr. may be the next trainer for Anthony Joshua. You guys tell me what you think of Roy Jones Jr.'s assessment and confirmed talks with AJ. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace!